So, welcome to episode number 2. We discussed the gospel of salvation in the last video. So, now we're going to get into what this channel is mainly going to be about. Hopefully, leading you back to the gospel of salvation so you can avoid a lot of this mess that's coming. Tonight, we're going to talk about what the channel is about. What better way to do the episode 2? Talk about Revelation 13 and a little bit about what you can expect if you're left behind. So I want to start out by reading you Revelation 13 verses 14 through 18. And basically this is discussing the 666. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell that unless he has the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for as the number of a man, his number is 666. So that is what piqued my interest of eschatology when I was a kid. I remembered something tonight I thought was very interesting, and looking back, I find very disturbing. 2nd grade, Marshall Primary School, Belton, South Carolina. I was talking about, I had heard about this, I guess, for the first time, and it inspired me, and I was like 7 years old, and I just was taken. I couldn't believe, 666 and how this was going to be and all this kind of stuff. And I was going to school talking about it. And I was telling people you go to hell if you write 666 on your forehead. Of course, some of the other students was like, the Christian raised kids like, all right, I'm going to go home and write 666 and see if I go to hell. And I remember also talking about the Furbies and stuff being evil. And I just remember, I'm not sure what type of, denomination my teacher was in at the time. But I just remember her not taking too kindly to some of the stuff I was saying. And she's telling somebody that she was going to tell my mom. And basically what I was saying. Now, I'm sure I had my doctrine kind of screwed up, but I was just a kid. But I just remember that, and I just think, well, looking back, I'm thinking, well, why? You needed to do a little more studying, because what I was saying was actually true, though. Half of it, anyway. If you have that number, you're going to hell. And I thought about that tonight. But I've had a high interest in eschatology for a long, long time. So that here we are today. But enough about that. Just wanted to kind of throw that out there. I thought that would find that interesting. Is Revelation 13. There's been so much happen and so much technology just explode in the last several years. A lot of people in churches today are not really up on it, and they're not following it. One particular church here in town, a friend of mine told me that Revelation, he says their pastor says Revelation's really not all that important. That doing the gospel and all that, I get that. But Revelation is very important. And, just as important as Genesis is, Revelation is just as important. The beginning is just as important as the end, and everything in between in the Bible, and it needs to be spoken of, it needs to be taught, it needs to be talked about. And for myself, it's a very, very exciting book, and it's very exciting topics. I get very excited when I talk about this stuff. But the image, I want to talk a little bit about the image of the beast. We know the number of the beast. We know, that he's you can't buy or sell or trade. Now, if you go back to when my grandparents were alive, well, they still are alive, thankfully, there was no debit cards, there was no credit cards. There was really no way anyone could shut you down from being able to buy or sell. Now we live in an electronic age. You have a credit card, you have a debit card, you do this tap to pay stuff, which is predictive programming and getting you ready to just lay your palm of your hand and boop, and stuff like that. You got Neuralink, where you can control things with your thoughts. You've got artificial intelligence, and that's kind of what I want to talk about a little bit here with the image of the beast. I've always wondered, what is the image of the beast? What is the image? Well, obviously an image would be some type of idol. Well, the Antichrist, whoever this fellow, we're not looking for the Antichrist, we're looking for Jesus Christ. So the people that don't fall under the belief of the pre-trib rapture, they're looking for the Antichrist, and that's not a good way to be. So back to Revelation 13 and the image. AI, artificial intelligence. Some of these videos and pictures are getting mighty real these days. Mighty real. I'm hearing of things that you can basically make a movie to watch, and it's all AI. The people you see are all images created by this artificial intelligence, this supercomputer. They're going to do miracles in the tribulation. It says even the elect will be deceived. Well, just the stuff I see people playing around with online now. AI at first was using the internet to concoct all the searches, the pictures, and to concoct a photo. Like you could type in 57 Chevrolet and it would concoct a picture that looked kind of like a 50s car all mangled together of all different makes and models. Some of the AI I'm seeing now looks a lot more real and a lot more accurate, even on that. So what do they have that we don't know already? The image of the beast, I have came to believe, and again, this is just my opinion, because this is not, artificial intelligence is not talked about in the Bible, but you have to draw your own conclusions here. AI, I believe, will be the image, or at least use somewhat of the image of the beast in Revelation 13 here. And I believe some of the miracles that you're going to see in that time is not even going to be real. Maybe it's somebody that their arm grows back or their leg grows back. And it's some miracle. Oh, let's worship the Antichrist. He's a healer and all this kind of stuff. Well, I think a lot of this stuff is just going to be concocted with artificial intelligence on videos. And how is the whole world going to see this and be deceived? What I'm filming this video on. Everybody has a phone in their hand now. This wasn't even just several years back. No, everybody didn't have a smartphone. Now everybody does. And as time goes by, I don't know when the rapture of the church will be, but let's just say it happens in 20 more years. Well, all your baby boomers who refuse to use a smartphone, like my grandpa, my granny, my friend that just passed away recently, they're all going to be gone. So like everyone else, your Gen X, your millennials like myself, your Gen Z, all these, they all have a smartphone. So everyone that's left behind is going to be watching the Antichrist and the events of the tribulation play out on their smartphone. And then at the midpoint, you've got to take the mark, or you're not going to be able to buy, sell, trade. You're not going to be able to get food. You're not going to be able to do anything. it's people are already talking about, in the last administration, it was talking about, cash, doing away with cash and all this kind of stuff. That's scary stuff. I'm of the belief that cash will not be done away with until after the church is gone. And I believe that there will be a gap of time. And we're going to talk about this in another video, but there's going to be a gap of time. I don't know how long, between the rapture of the church and the beginning of the tribulation, Daniel 9. So in the book of Daniel, he's going to confirm a covenant for 1 week. It's a week of years. And that covenant's going to be a 7-year treaty with Israel. Now, once that treaty is signed, boom, that's when the tribulation starts. How much time elapses between the rapture of the church and tribulation? I don't know. I think it has to at least be several months, because the world is going to be in calamity. So you get back to Revelation 13 and what we've talked about in today's video. Buy, sell, trade, the image. I believe the image is going to have a lot to do with AI. You've got people that's in calamity. Some are different beliefs. Some people believe, there's no way it can happen the same day. There's no way the tribulation can start on the exact same day. The world is going to be in calamity. This guy has to rise up out of nowhere. And while everybody's still looking for their kids, it's all disappeared. Go watch a Left Behind movie. They're not 100% accurate, but they give you a little bit of an idea about, a little bit of a taste of what someone might actually experience. So you've got all of this happening. So let's just say 6 months to a year elapses between the rapture and the start of the tribulation. It could be longer, it could be shorter, it could be weeks. Just a few weeks could be. I would imagine it's got to be at least several weeks. But you can draw your own conclusions on that. I think it's inarguable that it can't happen the same day. So I believe cash in that period of time is going to be done away with. I believe a lot of the stuff that needs to accelerate. I believe that the Ezekiel 38 war will happen, me personally, in that time period. And I believe that Ezekiel 38 war is what's going to let the Antichrist have Israel to sign the treaty with this guy, whoever this person turns out to be. So just a few thoughts, but imagine a world where there's no cash. Imagine a world where there's no coins. Imagine a world with no cash. Now, growing up, everybody always liked money. And I'd be lying now if I didn't say I didn't like money. Everybody likes money. Everybody wants to have a lot of money. You don't worship money, but you use it. It's a tool. You use it for good. As long as you use it for good, there's nothing wrong with having it. If you start using it for bad or ripping people off and all that, it's a problem. Imagine a world without cash. I can't imagine a world where I can't open my wallet and pull out cash. As worthless as it may be, because it's not gold or silver, it's cash. There's just something about it. It hits different. It's going to be done away with, people. There is coming a time on this earth where it ain't going to be like it is now. And we are steadily heading towards that direction. Each and every day, it's getting faster and faster and faster. The evil is getting more and more and more. People are getting every day further and further and further away from the Lord. This book right here is the furthest thing from their mind. This right here is the furthest thing from 98% of the population's mind. The rapture of the church, the tribulation, that's still a long time down the road. And I get it. People's been talking about the Lord's coming soon for a long time, but the fact of the matter is the Bible speaks of it as an imminent event. So we have to teach it as an imminent imminent event. But hindsight is 20/20. I will say also the Jews look for a sign. We're not supposed to look for signs. Yes, we see earthquakes. Yes, we see weird weather. Yes, we see this. Yes, we see that. But we're not supposed to look for a sign. We're supposed to look for the Lord. Hindsight is always 20/20. But the signs are not for us. The signs are for Israel. Yes, Jesus is coming soon. When is he coming? I don't know. I have my own opinions that I'll be happy to, and I'm not a date setter, but I believe it'll be in my lifetime. Now, I know several other people in the last few generations may have thought it was in their lifetime. But let's be real. How could a man control the whole world in 1957? It was literally impossible. Now it's not impossible. They shut TikTok down with a click of a button. They'll shut your bank account down with a click of a button for some type of hate speech, some type of, whatever. Oh, you bought too much ammunition? We'll shut your credit card down. I've already heard about that in the past. Oh, certain companies are not going to let you buy guns or buy this or buy that because it don't fit what they believe. Don't be left behind, folks. There's a way out. Go watch the first video. It tells you how to be saved. Put your trust and faith in Jesus Christ and what he has did on that cross. You don't want to be here during the tribulation. You don't want to be here. I'm telling you. I'm warning you. You don't want to be here. I have had, that I will discuss in a later video, a few dreams where the Lord showed me right here where I live in the tribulation. It was not pretty. I woke up just about sweating and hyperventilating as I started to type what I had saw. It was scary. And I'm not going to lie about it. It was very scary. You don't want to be here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.